Hello, this is the RPG Crawler, and welcome back to my Let's Play of the Age of Decadence. Now, we have a couple quests going on, but I suspect we're going to go after the miracle worker. We've got to heal the sick and the wretched from Athanasius. We'll have to find out what to do there. I'm not exactly sure how this is going to work. I have no skills as a healer, so we'll have to work it. Have you made any progress? I'm ready to do some miracles. Everything is set. Go to the castle, and may the gods be with you. A large crowd mills about the castle gates, with the palpable hostility of ants looking for the one who kicked their nest apart. As you get closer, you see the people are all sick or afflicted in varying ways, limping, disfigured, or with pox-ravaged faces, and their ringing shouts resolve into demands for healing. Wherever Athanasius found these poor wretches, their righteousness is certainly convincing. Confused, Meru's zealots are trying to restore the order, urging the wretches to go home, but their attempts are in vain. One of the wretches, a blind man with glazed-over white eyes, turns his head towards you, sniffing the air like a dog, and cries, "He can help us! I feel it! The blessing of the gods is upon him!" The man gives you a barely perceptible nod and drops on his knees. Lay your hands upon him. You place your hands upon the wretch's face and pray, invoking the gods and begging them to restore the man's eyesight, for no faithful should be condemned to darkness. The wretch takes his time, shaking and shivering, and when you're almost out of steam, he screams, "I can see!" rubbing his eyes in fake disbelief. Hardly original, but it will do. Find the next patient. You scan the faces and quickly spot another quick nod, this time from a man with the crutches. You give him the same treatment, quickly producing another miracle. The man throws away the crutches, happily announcing that he can walk. He doesn't put as much effort as the blind wretch, but the crowd buys it all, eager for more. The gates open and a tall man in dark robes steps outside. The guards snap to attention and salute. Must be an important man in Meru's hierarchy. The man stops, watching you with apparent concern. One more miracle should do the trick. You pick your next target, an overly dramatic woman who doesn't have any obvious handicap, but the zealot stops her with a gesture. "Not her," says the zealot. His voice is quiet, but carries enough weight to silence the crowd. Him, he points to a pale man standing a few feet away. Challenge the zealot. "I do the gods' bidding, brother, not yours." "I thought you were here to heal people," says the zealot, unfazed. "I'm not a healer and can't take credit for what you've just witnessed. I'm a man of faith, a humble servant of the gods." "Then why don't I believe you?" "Because I did what you couldn't. Now doubts whisper in your ear, eating away your once unwavering faith. How long until you stop believing altogether? Or is it not said that the simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh to his going? You think yourself to be a prudent man, but for no man admits to be a simpleton. But you doubt because you think it makes you wise. It doesn't, brother. I'm thinking persuasion and streetwise. Failure? Come, brother Meru wants to have a word with you. Go see Meru." "Oh no, I've failed. I've heard a lot about you since we've last met," says Meru, giving you a hard look. "They say you're a holy man, that your touch heals and your voice inspires, that the gods whisper in your ear." The last bit sounds like an accusation. "I make no such claims, brother Meru. Yet many do, and what's troubling is that these stories appeared almost overnight. I'm humbled that my words and deeds had such a profound effect. Ganazar must be truly a holy city if its people's hearts and minds are so open. It is a holy city, yet it is my duty as its shepherd to question where each voice that lays claim to speak on behalf of the gods. You look at me and you ask yourself, why him, why not me? Do not let pride cloud your judgment, brother. Do not begrudge the favor of the gods, for they have tests for all of us, and your cup will never be empty." I think my perception is pretty high, isn't it? "Success. Pride has nothing to do with it," protests Meru, falling into your trap and allowing you to misdirect the conversation and make it about him. "We've seen too many. Pride has everything to do with it. I must confess that when gods first spoke to me and told me to go to Ganazar to aid you, brother, I too felt the sting of pride, but it's not our place to question the divine will, and I've accepted that as my destiny. I trust you can do the same." "Very well," says Meru, looking at you strangely. "I will let the gods question you, brother. I can assure you that I will abide by their judgment. Come with me. You gain new insight, 24 skill points. You receive 500 in your pilgrim's service. Commercium reputation increased. House Crassus reputation increased. You gain a new insight into the liberal arts and 3 civic skills gained. And I will follow him. Although I need to assign those skills. I can't assign it in mid thing. Meru takes you deeper and deeper into the castle. Two stone-faced guards appear out of nowhere the moment you leave the audience chamber and follow you, staying a few steps behind. Eventually, Meru stops in front of an old metal platform. "We're almost there," he says anxiously, inviting you to join him. One of the guards throws a switch and the platform starts a slow descent into the bowels of the castle. The platform comes to a stop near an ancient gate, two heavy slabs of dark metal bearing the golden symbol of House Crassus. "Your destiny awaits you," says Meru, pointing at the gate. "Be warned, many went through this door over the years, yet few came out. If you have doubts, turn away, for faith is your only shield when you present yourself to the gods to be judged." Go through the doors. You enter the massive, strangely decorated chamber, but at once step back, dizzied from an abyss. Above, the rock ceiling is hewn with arcane symbols, while at your feet is a vast open space, a bottomless night sky of alien stars forming no constellations you recognize. This is uncanny, unnatural, sorcery beyond your imagination. You shrink from it instinctively, as if pushed by an invisible hand against the reassuring firmness of the stone wall. Some sort of Stargate, then, I guess. Examine it. Machinery hums on all sides, giving the impression that this chamber is but one part of a humongous complex. Pipes of all sizes snake in and out of the walls beneath the lip of the parapet, glowing deeper down where the stone walls end and the black sky begins. Finally, you're able to drag your eyes up to the walkway teetering out over the abyss. The throne there seems to wait for one worthy enough, powerful enough to claim it. It beckons you. Explore the room. And here's what we're going to do. We got to examine the throne, but we've got points to spend. And I suspect I'm going to have to spend them into lore. Ah, that didn't get me much, did it? Got me a little bit. I got everything else to adapt. Yeah, let's go with this. Lore. That'll have to work for now. Examine the throne. I should have examined those stuff around. Is there anything on the walls? No. Alright, let's examine the throne. The throne seems to wait for one worthy enough, powerful enough to claim it. It beckons you. Take the seat you know you want to. Constitution intelligence failure. Even ever so slowly, you ease yourself into the seat, expecting, dreading what might happen. The chair is hard and uncomfortable, but except for your palms tingling on the armrest, seems ordinary. You become aware of a low wind in the chamber, but before you can locate the source, it resolves into a murmur of distorted voices in your ears. Your head knocks against the back of the throne, and your fists clench as your mind is flooded with a confusing succession of images. You see mental spires and blazing suns, unfamiliar landmasses laid out like a map, and the violent waves of another world's oceans. Each of these inexplicable visions is accompanied by raw emotions, hatred, curiosity, sadness, and other alien, unnameable sensations. You shake your head violently as if to dispel a nightmare, but these visions come not from your brain but from some outside agency. The chaos continues, intensifies into an anguished blur, as if struggling to escape the prison that is your mind. Eventually your mind gives in and releases you from this torment. Non est astra mollis et terra via. You are not... This is not the road between the stars and the earth. I don't remember what Mollis is. That killed me. That killed me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to go again. Alright. So what happened to those who failed? Well, some were struck dead, others lost their minds. Did anyone pass this test? I did, said Meru with pride. Truly, the first acolyte. The prophet passed the test too, although he was barely alive when the guards came from him. Not Phelan? Phelan is besieged by doubts, but what he lacks in faith he makes up for in loyalty. Go through the doors. Yes. Alright, and we'll explore the room. Yeah, so what does this get? I need something to boost my intelligence plus my I've got good intelligence. I need constitution. I don't even know what to do here. This is not going to give me another... Do I have anything that can boost my constitution? I don't think it does. So do I have anything that can boost constitution? I don't think so. I don't know. Shall I try? If I try it again, it's just going to do the same thing. The Eye of Thorogoth. Let me equip this. Maybe that'll help. Alright. Take the seat you know you want to, and that failed it again. Alright, so I gotta find some other way through. Let's do with the I am not ready bit first. I am not ready. You won't get another chance. It's now or never. I can't do it. Your faith isn't strong enough, but your heart is in the right place. An expedition is leaving for Al-Akia tomorrow. I want you to join it. So I failed. It is failure all around here. I gotta go back to see what I was doing. I mean, I guess I could go with persuasion. That just makes it huge. I'm gonna boost lore. I'll boost persuasion, but I need to boost lore pretty soon too. So I've got to go to Meru to join the expedition to Al-Akia. There's not much I can do. I guess I should talk to him. Well, let's continue onward, although I suspect I'm not going to get much further there. Alright, what news did you bring us? I'm ready to show him the map. So you are the blasphemer. Blasphemer? I read rumors that someone was looking for the lost temple of the gods to deliver it to the unbelievers. They will loot it and destroy it, denying us the salvation. Oh man, this is the wrong thing. I didn't mean to show on the map. Oh well. Everything we've done will be undone in an instant. You will doom us all, and for what? For a handful of coins? For an empty title? For your pride? Answer me. What must I do, brother? Repent and become a symbol for mankind. A sinner who wanted to desecrate the holy shall see the light and kneel before the divine. Shall be the first to be blessed and guided. Serve the gods and rise above many. Refuse me, refuse the gods, and you won't live long enough to spend your ill-gotten money. This I promise you. Guide me. It is your destiny to find the temple. Find it and guard it with your life. The gods will give you strength to make sure that nothing is taken or disturbed. This task is more important than the struggle of any petty lords and their illusions. Yeah, I know. Let's talk to him about I'm ready to join the expedition. Travel to Al-Akia. And I don't know if that kind of kicks me into the next chapter or not. It does. Oh, goddamn. On the morning of your departure, you discover you'll be traveling in the company of 4 grizzled lore masters and, surprisingly, a small detachment of Imperial guards. During the journey, you learn these lore masters aren't your typical weekend market hucksters. They learn their trade the old-fashioned way, robbing tombs and fighting off brigands. They're also in charge of the expedition, dictating where and when the party will stop in order to accommodate the constant referencing of stars and landmarks against their maps. These consultations regularly lead to heated arguments, almost to the point of blows, all in a language only they understand. The guards simply keep to themselves. 6 long days under the naked sun bring your group to the ruins of Al-Akia, which at first seemed to consist of nothing but a miniature pyramid, barely taller than a grown man. A closer examination of the area reveals 4 other derelict structures peeking out from the sand, equidistant from the central edifice. Meru's men cluster on the pyramid as if they wish to throw themselves upon it, but instead begin to whisk the sand away from its markings with little horsehair brushes. In contrast to their vocal exchanges over the last week, they now speak in excited whispers. Eventually, they shift their attention to the other structures. 2 men dusting them off, and the third making notations on one of their charts. While they go about their examinations, you deduce that the 3 piles of masonry stones are the tops of 3 towers. What you are seeing is the highest level of a sprawling complex, long buried beneath the sand. At last, the lore masters fall silent, nodding to themselves in satisfaction. Whatever their reasons, they have settled on the last tower as the one they like the best. One of the lore masters takes the legatus aside and says something to him. The legatus tries to argue, but the lore master insists. The legatus shrugs, walks to the tower top, and disappears inside. We wait, says the lore master, his eyes shining with a religious fervor. Okay. So I'm out here. And I got 5 skill points. Is that going to be enough to boost Not quite. Need 3 more. Well, I can talk to this guy, or I can look around. Let's look around. Alright, there's, I guess... That one allows you to enter. This one's broken. Let's talk to the lore master. Can you feel it, brother? Asks the man, breathing in deep as if the very air in this place has mystical properties. What is this complex? You are looking at Al-Akia, the man says dramatically, the birthplace of the gods. Birthplace? The gods dwell on a higher plane than we do. To walk to the earth, they need human bodies. If the machines are intact, we can do it again. We can bring back the gods. Where would you get the bodies? What faithful wouldn't welcome a chance to be blessed by the gods and serve as his holy vessel? It is the highest honor. And he wants me to do that. What are we waiting for? According to the construction plans, the entire complex was built to minimize exposure to the outside elements. If the way down is clear, we should be able to gain access to the main building. And then what? If the machines are intact, we can bring back the gods. What do the machines have to do with it? How else would the gods come to our plane? Scoffs the lore master. The stories say that the gods descended from the heaven, but only a fool would take them literally. It took decades of work and thaumaturgical engines, the likes of which this world will never see again. Pray that the engines are intact. So how does one bring back the gods? You need to open a connection between the divine plane and ours, says the lore master, bending a thick and calloused finger as he counts the steps. You need a vessel. You need the thaumaturgical engines to transfer the divine essence into the vessel. His speech is interrupted by shouts. Turning around, you see the Aurelian soldiers fast approaching. Wait for them to get closer? State your business, says the centurion, making it clear that you've already been judged and found guilty. What business is it of yours? It is forbidden to enter this area. Your lord knows it. Paulus should have known better, says the centurion, staring at the guards beyond you. It's not going to end well. But do you know why it is forbidden? Do you know why House Aurelian is hiding it from you? Whatever it is, says the centurion dismissively, it was closed off for a reason. It will stay closed off to keep people like you from fucking with it. If that's what you're going to tell the gods when they return, that their holy place was closed off for a reason, that you kept the faithful in the darkness for a reason... This, a holy place? Asked the centurion. You sense contempt in his voice, but you also sense uncertainty and fear. Now's your chance. The holiest, brother. We all know that the gods answered our call during the Great War, but nobody knows what it actually means. Well, it's your lucky day, because I do. This is where they descended from their heavenly abode. This is the ground they first stood on, the ground made holy by their mere touch. Ah, so why is it forbidden then? Asked one of the legionnaires, a round-faced man with wide-set eyes. The eyes tell you that he wants to believe. Persuasion and streetwise? Men always fear what they can't understand. What man can understand the divine? The key is to accept it with your heart, not to seek to understand it with your mind. So tell me, brother, is your heart still pure? Can it accept the divine and absolve you of your sins? The soldiers glance at one another, seeking uncertainty and fear, then lower their weapons. One man takes a handful of sand and carefully pours it into a small leather bag, a newly made relic. We'll be on our way then, says the centurion after a pause. Alright, so I gain 4 civic skill points, peacemaker, reputation, and priest. Wait for them to leave. The Decanus chooses this very moment to emerge from the ruins. What happened here? One of his men steps forward. The Aurelians paid us a visit, but he talked them out of doing anything stupid. Good job, says the Decanus, patting you on the back. I have to return to Karator. I suggest you'll find your way back to Ganazar. Wait until he leaves. Alright. So, I think I'm still short, aren't I? Yeah. Oh, no, I'm not still short. Let's boost lore. Yes! And I will quick save the game because I'm about to do something stupid. I'm going to enter the tower. You are not allowed to go down there. Alright, so I can't go down there. Is there anything else? Alright, so I gotta go back to Ganazar. Yes. Alright. On the 3rd day of your journey, a dust storm forces you to seek shelter and wait it out. The storm cloud seems to follow you, hanging over the horizon. It takes you a while to realize it's not a cloud, but an army on the move, heading toward the same place you are, Ganazar. Whatever secrets Alakia holds, House Aurelian is clearly prepared to start a war to keep them buried. Alright. Well, I don't know. I guess I'll go back in here. Do I have anything else I really want to take a look at? The rifle armor, the power armor is not gonna... That's gonna be difficult. I don't have combat. I can try to find a man named Elias. I have to report to Meru. And then there's ruins, but I explored these ruins and didn't find anything. So I guess let's just continue onward. Alright. There is a lot of text in this particular game. I like that. I really do. What news do you bring us? We found Alakia. You did? Does it still stand? Has anyone been inside? It's undamaged. Praise the gods! Exclaimed Meru. Our salvation is at hand, but first we must deal with House Aurelian. I want you to go to Karator without delay. Tell Paulus that if he breaks the siege, he can name his price. You receive 500 Imperials. I gain more skill points. You do. Do you realize what you're asking for? It is you who doesn't realize what's at stake, RPG crawler. I can't work with House Aurelian breathing down my neck. Karator added to the math. The pass added to the math. What do you offer? Anything he wants, I told you. Anything isn't specific enough. Paulus won't come to negotiate terms with you. He will come only if the offer is good enough. You're asking him to declare war on the most powerful house. Better make it worth his while. You're right, says Meru, pacing around the room. All right. A power-sharing deal. If he keeps Cyranus at bay, I'll bless the Imperial Guards and declare them protectors of the Creed, the warriors of the Temple. As the Creed grows, the Imperial Guards, the Templars' power, will grow with it. I will oversee all matters of faith. Paulus will oversee the rest. If he doesn't think I'm offering enough, he's a damn fool. All right. So let's step out. So, what did that have to do? Paulus got to go to... travel to Karator to talk to Duke's Palace. Alright, but let's take a look at our skill points again. I need 5 more and do lore. Let's go with the world map. You join a small group of refugees fleeing the town, hoping you'll be allowed to leave unmolested. There may have been stuff I need to do. But the Legionnaires quickly spot you and drag you to the Legatus tent despite your protest. The Legatus gives you a hard look aimed to remind you of your own mortality, but says nothing. Instead, another man steps out from the shadows. Good to see you again, RPG Crawler, says Masus. Master Strabos has a task for you. What does the Magistratus desire? We know that Meru sent you to Karator. Paulus is still sitting on the fence, which means that he's mulling on both offers. I don't know what game Athanasius is playing, but you have to convince Paulus to put an end to this nonsense. Which nonsense in particular are you referring to? Meru, Mouse says quietly. Ganazar must fall. Alright, hold on here. Let's exit this. I should talk to Paulus. Merus asked me to talk to Paulus. Maius informed you that Stravus ordered you to convince Paulus to side with House Aurelian. Okay, hold on a second. I gotta refresh my memory real quick. Stravus. Master Stravus is a trading company. The head merchant, yeah. Oh man, this is getting more and more complex. Well, there is the Hellgate. And there's Karator. Let's go to Karator. And just going there is going to give me 5 skill points. Alright, skill points gained. Time to boost lore again. Nice, so I'm adept at lore. Maybe I can uncover some more secrets now. What is this place? No, I don't need the world map, I need a local map. Don't have a local map. Because this is just a fort. It is basically a fort/camp. There's a Centurion over there I can talk to. Let's go over here. Or wait, no, let's go in here. I guess I gotta make myself known. Centurion Pharaoh. Isn't that somebody I know? What are you looking at? Okay, apparently not. There's Paulus. There's Rhaenys. Rumors floating around painted Gaius Aetius Pallas as a paranoid tyrant or a benevolent despot, but the man standing before you appears to be neither paranoid nor benevolent. He has an unmistakable aura of power and authority, as do all men who are accustomed to being obeyed without question. In his world, his word is the law. Approach? RPG crawler, is it? Let me guess, your lord wants me to break the siege and save his sorry ass. I'll be honest with you. If Gallius were still alive, I would have made a deal with him and nailed Meru to the highest cross for everyone to see. But Gallius is dead, thanks to your guild, from what I hear, and his throne is occupied by his weakling nephew. So now, I have to choose between a lunatic and a weakling, which isn't the choice I thought I'd have to make, but the fates are cruel and like fucking with us, don't they? What do you want me to do then? I assume you have a speech ready, otherwise you wouldn't be here. Go ahead and convince me. Oh, shall I go with House Aurelian? Yeah, let's deal with Lord Meru. Tired of this stuff. I think you should join forces with House Aurelian and help them take Ganazar. Now that's a surprise, says Paulus, looking at you with interest. Meru's position must be truly dire if even those he trusts turn against him. I'm loyal to my guild, not House Crassus. Master Stravos wants House Crassus to fall, and I'm here to negotiate on behalf of House Aurelian. Seranus must be even weaker than I thought, observes Paulus, if he lets the likes of Stravos pull his strings. Maybe I will side with Meru after all. Persuasion streetwise, Seranus is weak, but under your guidance he will grow into a man worthy of his uncle's throne. Meru's insanity will only get worse. So, what do we get for propping up young Seranus and winning his first war for him? We'll handle the business and administrative side. You keep the city safe. Seranus will sit in the big chair and look pretty. Editor, where are you? Seranus has much to learn about statecraft. Until he does, he should appoint a consul for each city, a civilian consul for Madoran, military consuls for Ganazar and Terran, a 5-year term. Terran? And then? And then we'll renegotiate, Paulus says in a tone that doesn't accept any objections. The conflict between House Aurelian and House Crassus might be over soon, but it merely sets the stage for a conflict between the Commercium and the Imperial Guards. Money versus the sword. Hard to say which one is heavier. Either way, it's 5 years down the road. If you're lucky, it will be someone else's problem to deal with. What about Terran, then? We'll have to bring it back into the fold. The town's lawless, from what I understand, and a man sent there to keep order there, Marcus Carinus, was cowardly assassinated. Our barracks were raided that same night. Surely you understand that Imperial Guards won't tolerate such a brazen and unprovoked attack. Carinus was planning to overthrow Antidus and take over. I'm not interested in conspiracy theories. Our senior officer was murdered in the line of duty. His soldiers killed as they slept. This attack will not go unanswered, and if we say no, I'm offering you an olive branch. Past transgressions all forgotten, including your role in the assassination of Carenius. If you say no, we'll be forced to look into the circumstances and punish all those directly responsible. I wouldn't be surprised if your name were at the very top of this list. We have a deal. Excellent, says Paulus, his face showing no emotions. We'll be ready to march in 3 days. For your own safety, I'd like you to travel with me. Travel to Ganazar with Paulus and his army. Wow. I'm really, walking a tightrope here, playing both sides. The Aurelians welcome Paulus's legion with a wild cheer, but rather than fall to drinking and talk, the men at once begin setting up tents and unloading supplies from Paulus's chain. Meru and his cadre observe stone-faced from the barbican above the gate. If anyone is thinking that perhaps Meru should apply to his gods for help, he wisely keeps this counsel to himself. Paulus sends a messenger to invite Meru to discuss terms, and appears you are in for a long siege. The attack before sunrise the following day is completely unanticipated. Ladders of a type you have never seen before springing up like weeds all along the wall. They were assembled during the night from shorter sections hidden beneath the boards of Pallus's wagons. Within minutes, enemy soldiers swarm the battlements. When the gates are bashed open, you know the city is lost. Defenders fight with unparalleled zeal, but learn to their dismay that no amount of belief will shield a man from the discipline of a hardened fighter. Paulus sets the survivors, declaring a path through the bodies in the street, and the way to the castle is open. Ganazar is fallen. Follow him into the castle. The bodies of Meru, his Magus, and the Prophet are being loaded like firewood into the back of a cart. Meru's throat has been cut in a single clean stroke, but the Magus's corpse has been slashed and hacked like a Legionnaire's practice dummy. His eyes and fingers are missing. The bodies will be displayed above the gates of Ganazar and given proper rites afterwards, explains the Legatus. Meru and the Prophet didn't give us any trouble, but the fucking Magus worked his spells on my own men, turning them, 3 of them, against us. We had to kill them, good men too. What happened to his eyes? Taken for trophies. Eyes and fingers make good talismans, or so I'm told. Follow him to the pass. That is how the legions work. Dux, salutes Aurelia, the Aurelian Legatus. Now that Ganazar is taken, says Paulus, interrupting him. Maintaining order is the highest priority. I'm certain you'd agree with this sentiment. It was my understanding that Lord Seranus' troops would be taking over, the Legatus says firmly. And it was my understanding that our soon-to-be emperor wouldn't have any troops. But that's the thing about understandings. They are subject to interpretations. So until I see Seranus delivering on his promises, Ganazar remains under our control. Your troops will remain here as well, but you're free to leave at any time, Legatus. Wait for Legatus to leave. You did well, RPG Crawler. I'm sure that Strabos will be pleased. Macius will be the new magistratus of this city, so talk to him if you need anything. And what do I get? The satisfaction of a job well done, I suppose. Okay. Sure, that works. The Imperial Guard's decision to side with House Aurelian in the siege of Ganazar seals Seranus' grip on power. A new kingdom will be forged, and a sunrise is added to Seranus' banner, a fitting sigil for a dawning era. In succeeding days, the Imperial Guards move on the villages and settlements subject to Ganazar, openly inviting the inhabitants to swear fealty to Rex Seranus, first of his name. Once these noble volunteers have been checked against the rolls, the remainder are rounded up and encouraged to pledge their loyalty at spear point. The gods are fickle, and if they heard the prayers of their first acolyte, they gave no sign, an indifference which weakens the creed. Instead of fueling the flame of religion, the spilling of Meru's blood apparently douses it. His martyrdom marks the end of the faith he championed once and for all. Alone now, Lord Antidus waits for the inevitable. Magistratus Strabos' work to secure the profitable alliances and deliver Ganazar proved his considerable talents, strengthening his influence in Madorum. As a reward for years of unwavering loyalty, Macius is appointed interim magistratus of Ganazar, a temporary title that will likely become permanent in a few years. Though less favored because of his failure to take timely action against Meru, Athanasius will prove useful as Macius' II. A noble born himself, Athanasius' appointment will put the nobles at ease and help to assuage any lingering resentment. All right. And what now? Because I am running a little short on time. All right. So the game is auto-saved, and where am I? Oh, I'm in Ganazar. Alright, and on that note, I'm probably going to go ahead and wrap up here, and we will continue with this in the next episode. This has been the RPG Crawler with the Age of Decadence. If you like what you've seen, remember to leave a like, comment if you've got any feedback, and subscribe for more RPG content. Until next time, take care and goodbye.